Hi guys. So I'm filming in a different location because I'm visiting a friend, but we just went and saw It Follows and I had really strong feelings about it, so I thought I'd make a video. Now, getting a little personal here, for the past 3 weeks, my life has kind of been a living hell. I've been miserable, kind of depressed, cried every day. Basically just a lot of pain. And seeing this film kind of diminished that entire 3 weeks of agony, if that puts it into perspective. Sitting through this film was more painful than my past 3 weeks of heartbreak. So, this will not be a positive review of It Follows. I have heard of this film, but I have not seen trailers. I had no idea what it was about or what it was rated. But my friend wanted to see a film and we both decided, or he decided to see this, so we went. And yeah, it wasn't great. This film was only 100 minutes long, but it felt like it was 4 hours long. Anytime a film feels 5 times longer than it actually is, that's always a very bad sign. So let's get to the plot, because I went in this not knowing really what it was about. Basically, there's a girl named Jay, a young college student. We're not sure exactly how old she is. She's been seeing a guy who's 21 because his age is mentioned. They go on a few dates. On a second date that we actually witness, they have sex. That's fine until he uses chloroform on Jay, and she wakes up strapped to a wheelchair. He then kind of is really freaking out and rambling and tells her that something's following him, and now it's going to follow her. She, of course, has no idea what's going on, and she's scared. They see this naked woman walking toward them. He's freaking out about it, and he tells her not to let it touch her. And it is some entity that is able to transform or appear as any person, someone she might know or a stranger. But it will follow her. He explains that the only way to escape this entity is to sleep with somebody. So in a way, it's almost a supernatural sexually transmitted disease. We then follow Jay with her younger sister, her younger sister's friends, and a neighbor who try to help her. At first, they think she's crazy, but more and more things happen and they start to believe her and they try to help her escape or completely figure out what's going on. So, yes, that's the basic premise. And what I will say, the only positive thing I'm going to say about this film, is I thought that the idea of the paranormal, supernatural, sexually transmitted infection or disease was an interesting one. There was a film that came out a few years ago called Contracted, and that was a similar concept with, not the supernatural part, but it's like the zombie type disease being passed around from having sex. So that was interesting. And that movie wasn't great, but sadly, that movie was far better than this one. Where to start with what I didn't like about this film? First of all, I thought the acting was really bad. We mostly have a young cast. There's very few adults in this, and you don't really see any adults. It's mostly this teenagers, early 20s people we see. But all the acting, all the things they say, it just came across fake and made for TV movie quality acting. So again, that's pretty bad. Another thing that confused me about this film is you really don't know what time period they're going for. There's lots of things that make you think it's modern day, but then a lot of the clothing, cars, even like technology, it seems a mixture of 70s, 80s. So I wasn't really sure what they were going for that. But I guess that kind of had a disconcerting feel, or you really weren't sure what time period they were going for or what was going on, so I can understand that a bit, I guess, but it didn't really work for me. The whole film felt like it was trying too hard. With that, and of course the acting that I said felt forced, and the sound effects. I guess I can compare this to Insidious, but Insidious I think did a better job with sound effects. When there's not really a lot going on and there's suddenly something like a jarring noise or a loud noise, which can get annoying, and in this film it did, but like I would compare it to Insidious when they use those jarring effects to get a scare, which again kind of can be cheap at times. And it was in this one. I think my biggest gripe with this film was the pacing. The plot as well, but mostly the pacing. Like I said, this film felt far, far longer than its actual runtime, which I hate, because I've seen a lot of bad horror movies. I've seen a ton of horror movies. Some bad horror movies can be funny. They can at least have some entertaining value. This had none. This was just boring and draggy. And my friend, here's the thing. I've seen a lot of horrible, soul-crushing films in my time, but I've stick through them. I don't stop watching a film. Even the worst films I can think of, I watch them to the end, because I don't feel I can properly rate a movie or review it if I've not watched the whole thing. I know some people might disagree with that. That's just personally how I feel. But my friend, who feels exactly the same way as I do, who has never wanted to stop even when we were watching really bad films, asked me not once, not twice, but about 5 times if I wanted to leave the theater, because that's how much he hated watching this film. And at the time, I was really considering agreeing and leaving, because that's how much it hurt. This film physically hurt me. It just felt like it was trying too hard. Maybe there's a lot of symbolism in it, hidden meanings, what have you. That's great. But if I can't stand watching you and I don't like the plot or connect to any of the characters, I don't care how amazing or awesome your meaning is. It doesn't mean anything, because you're not a good movie. And throwing some hidden plot point or deeper significance in there doesn't make you a good movie. So overall, I really, really hated It Follows. I hated everything about it. Even though it had an interesting concept, I think every other element of this film fell flat for me. And yeah, I kind of was close to asking for my money back from it. And that's something I rarely ever feel when I watch a bad movie, especially in a theater, because I'm kind of not that person that will go get your money back. But I felt like it with this one. That's how bad it was. And it kind of ruined my whole day, because like I'm angry now and I just want to go watch cartoons because I feel like slitting my wrists, because this movie made me more depressed than I already was. So I rate It Follows a 1 out of 10. I do not recommend this movie. I did not like this movie, and I would strongly, strongly advise you not to watch it unless you're happy and you kind of want to feel worse. There just are far, far better films available even on Netflix that are far more worth your time, and you'll save money. So that was my review, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye.